graduated from college with a degree in communication and a desire to do nothing but dance. I'd been taking dance classes for 10 years, so this was the next logical step in life. Getting a real job could happen when I got older, like when I turned 30. And I thought I could live for a long time off of the $1,500 in student loans I still had sitting in my checking account. Plus, I was about to make $100 dancing at a greeting card convention. Finances secure, I started driving from San Diego to LA every weekend to audition for dance jobs. Everything from the Disneyland parade to music videos. My very first audition was for Carnival Cruises. I sat in LA traffic for 2 hours, waited in line outside of a dance studio for another hour in the sweltering heat, stepped inside to register, and before I even had a chance to hand over my homemade headshot, I was told, "Sorry, we're only looking for redheads and African Americans today, 5'7" and taller. Next." Month after month, rejection after rejection, my confidence sunk deeper, and my dreams lingered in the distance like a mirage. That's when Christine, one of the dancers I'd met in the greeting cards show, convinced me to audition for the Goals Girls, a dance squad for the minor league hockey team. "Come on, it's so fun," she told me. "But those aren't real dancers. They're more like cheerleaders," I said. I knew nothing about cheerleading, but I associated it with blonde hair and popularity, two things I'd never experienced. "Well, you should really audition, because we could use more girls who are serious about dance. I'm a real dancer, and I've been doing it for 2 years," Christine said. During the audition, I saw signs that dancing took a back seat to big hair, fake boobs, and pom-poms. But I was so defeated by all the rejections that I just wanted a single affirmation that I was actually talented, that my years of blood, sweat, and tears in the dance studio were not spent in vain. I remember the night the Goals Girls director, Julie, called me to deliver the good news. "Congratulations, Jennifer, you made the team. You were one of our favorite brunettes. Now, we need to talk about your look. We've got a lot of work to do to make you glamorous." I hadn't actually heard anything she said after, "You made the team." And I hung up the phone elated. This was it. It was the first time I'd auditioned for an important role and made it. Julie gave me instructions to go to a hometown buffet, one of the team's sponsors, the next evening where we'd have our very first team meeting. Julie said to wear a bikini under my street clothes, and I thought, fun, I wonder who has a jacuzzi. I was so excited to get a free meal at a buffet because I didn't have a job, and I imagined myself piling mounds of buttery biscuits and soft-serve ice cream with rainbow sprinkles onto my tray. When I showed up to dinner that night, Julie was waiting in a special room inside the restaurant, the kind of room reserved for working lunches and Rotary Club meetings. We were instructed to line up outside the room, which was confusing because the buffet line was on the other side of the restaurant. Rumors began flying down the line of girls about what happened inside those closed doors. Girls went into the room jubilant and came out looking like they'd been punched in the gut. I figured most of them had been criticized for their mediocre dance skills, so I stood there, ignorantly, concerned about nothing except the possibility of the restaurant running out of cheesy bread before I got a piece. I entered the room to find a panel of glamour consultants sitting up perfectly straight behind a table with clipboards, a camera, a tape measure, and a scale. They were meticulously polished cookie-cutter versions of one another, tastefully decorated with makeup, modest jewelry, and French manicures. The only way I could actually tell them apart was by the almost imperceptible variances in the highlight patterns of their perfectly styled blonde hair. They gave off an air of such self-importance that I thought they must be very important women. Probably a local news anchor or the owner of a PR firm or a fashion magazine editor. They introduced themselves one by one: a hairstylist, an aerobics instructor, a consultant, a tanning salon owner, and then there was Julie, software engineer by day, Goals Girls director by night. "Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to your style session. Please remove your street clothes." I did as I was told and sheepishly stepped out of my maroon crushed velvet sweats and stood in front of the women in a tattered hand-me-down Target bikini. I felt them tear me apart with their eyes, one woman fixating on my legs in disgust, another scowling as she took in my face, furiously scribbling down notes. "Now, Please step on the scale, Julie instructed. What does it say? 125, I said. I'd like that scale to say 115. Wouldn't you, Jennifer? I got dressed piece by piece, withering under the disapproving gaze of the glamour consultants, acutely aware of every move I made, trying to suck in my gut while simultaneously clenching my butt cheeks as I bent over to pull up my faded sweatpants. I walked out stunned, appetite lost, after being picked apart from head to toe and given demands to lose weight immediately, see a hairstylist, learn how to put on makeup, get my eyebrows taken care of, tone my abs, buy silicone inserts for my bra, get a manicure, have my teeth whitened, and practice several different types of smiles in front of a mirror. I sat in my car in the dark parking lot outside of the restaurant, at first feeling nothing but humiliation and self-pity. But I grew emboldened by TLC's Unpretty blasting from my CD player. And then furious as I recalled my long history with body shaming. I'd grown up in gymnastics after all, an ideal breeding ground for eating disorders. The only reason I knew how to love my body is because when I was just 10 years old, a gymnastics coach told me to lose 1 pound, and when my hot-blooded Italian mother found out, she marched into the gym with a 1-pound package of beef, slammed it down on the coach's desk to illustrate the insignificance of a pound, and then threatened to have my Italian grandfather break his kneecaps. At age 13, another coach told me to lose 5 pounds, and my mom yanked me out of gymnastics altogether and put me in dance so I could go through puberty like a normal teenager. Dance is where I found my home, my passion, a support system through my awkward teenage years, and my second family. Dance was the one sure thing I could always count on in my youth, through hardship and heartache, love and loss. And I was sick and tired of this beautiful art form being reduced to nothing more than a sculpted body and a plastic smile. Plus, there was no way in hell I was going to go through all that trouble for $20 per hockey game, which required no fewer than 6 hours of time, 3 to 4 nights per week, especially when we weren't even allowed to date the players. So when I made the decision to forge ahead into this toxic mess, I knew I was going to play by my own rules. I wanted the validation that came along with being given money to dance, and I saw this as a stepping stone towards something greater, like the Laker girls. But I didn't want any of the bullshit. The only way I saw myself getting through the year was to refuse 100% of Julie's mandates to fix my personal appearance. On opening night, I'd invited everyone I knew to come watch me perform in my very first minor league hockey game halftime show. In my opinion, being one of only 3 classically trained dancers on the team, I was the star of the show. I wore my disregard for glamour with pride and looked along curiously as the other girls in the dressing room installed fake eyelashes and sculpted imaginary cleavage with makeup. I smeared my lips with fuchsia lipstick and called it a day. I got to stand in the front row, flanked by the other 2 real dancers, and I was dying to put my dancing skills on display for the world to see. The sports arena was packed, full of rowdy fans, and excitement hung over the ice as everyone waited in anticipation for the dancers to emerge. I was the first one out on the ice, a swarm of 9 blondes, 5 Asians, 3 other brunettes, and 2 African Americans trailing behind me. I ran way too fast, fueled by adrenaline and Diet Red Bull, toward the center of the rink where we were to perform. But I didn't stop when I got to the spotlight in the center of the ice. I got carried away and I kept on running around the rink, a one-woman party pumper, arms flailing above my head, grinning from ear to ear, till I realized I was alone. And when I tried a U-turn toward the spotlight, I slipped and slid 20 feet straight into the wall. Ass first. The crowd stopped cheering and let out a collective, "Oh." The arena fell silent. I weighed my options, considered what would be the least mortifying move, and decided to jump up, laugh, wave to the crowd, and tiptoe back to the dance formation delicately enough to make it funny. I got through the routine without falling, but my difficulties as a dancer on a cheerleading squad for a semi-professional hockey team were just beginning. Another Goals Girls mandate I avoided was cheerleading. I was a dancer, and I became very uncomfortable anytime they told me to pick up a pair of pom-poms. Those are for cheerleaders, I would mumble to myself. During the 5th game of a very long hockey season, Julie hunted me down in the dressing room, where I hid so I didn't have to cheerlead in the stands. "Jennifer, what do you think you're doing down here?" she asked when she found me napping in the corner of a room in a makeshift pom-pom nest. I have a headache," I lied. "I don't care. You're getting paid to be here. Get upstairs and get in the stands now." I snatched up my pom-poms, rolled my eyes, and marched upstairs. We were supposed to perform set cheers each time a song played, but I had intentionally not committed a single cheer to memory because I thought I could hide in the dressing room for all 36 games and only appear on the ice when dancing was required. Julie had followed me to my post in the stands and saw me standing there in a frozen resting bitch face for the next hour. I saw 2 distinct roles on the team, cheerleader and dancer. The cheerleaders were the gorgeous girls, the ones who, when fans saw them up close, wanted them to sign autographs on their forearms, and who got chosen to make public appearances. That wasn't me. I was there to energize the crowd during dance performances, and I was embarrassed to get up close to the fans because I didn't have an aptitude for glamour like the other girls. My hair wasn't long or luxurious. I never got the hang of the whole makeup thing. I never did enough crunches or stayed away from bean and cheese burritos long enough to get sculpted abs. I was put on probation 3 times during my year as a goals girl, once for refusing to cheer and twice for not losing weight. Toward the end of the season, and probation number 3, I decided to make more of an effort to be a team player because I didn't want to get kicked off the team and tarnish my reputation in the dance world. So I learned a few cheers and gave it a go as a cheerleader in the stands. Turns out, that was a very smart decision because my experience as a goals girl led me to my big break, being an extra in Bring It On. 27 minutes in, during the Torrance Drops the Spirit Stick at cheerleading camp scene, there I am, resting bitch face and all.
That's Jen Stiff.